Good day, everyone. Welcome to Fit in the Cloud, a podcast series by AVM Cloud, a time company, the cloud for the enterprise. This is our second episode, and we are excited. It was great feedback about the first episode. We loved the viewership. We loved what you all spoke about. We loved your follows. We loved your likes, and we didn't want to stop there. So here we are bringing you all with the second episode of Fit into the Cloud, the podcast series by AVM Cloud. My name is Srinivas. I'm the Chief Strategy Officer for AVM Cloud. Okay, so cloud. We've spoken about data protection in our previous episode, and there are many facets to it, right? So today we're going to speak about one such important facet, right, which is connectivity. As important as data is to cloud journey, connectivity is also a very important piece of it. So today we're going to speak to someone we consider family, and to people who don't know, to our viewers who don't know, AVM Cloud was acquired by Time, so which means we are part of the bigger Time family. And today we'll be speaking to one such passionate person from Time who is passionate about technology, who is passionate about building business. And I've had personal interactions with him. He is someone who is going to go ahead and speak about how market is looking at cloud journey, how is Time contributing to this, and it's an exciting phase for AVM Cloud being part of the Time family to speak about these. So let's not delay anymore and bring in our very own Kitao. Hello, Kitao. Thank you so much for joining us. It's an honor. And again, it's family. It's nice to have you here with us on this episode of Fit in the Cloud. So, who is Kitao? Who is Kitao, and what does Kitao do with Time? Quick introduction of yourself to our viewers, so that our viewers understand whom am I speaking to? Who's my guest here?
Thanks, Rini. Good day to you. First of all, thanks for inviting me to your podcast. It is certainly a great pleasure of mine, and I'm very humbled to be able to be here today. So very quickly, I'm Kitao. I lead the enterprise business in Time.com. I know I'm going to probably give my age away by sharing this, but yes, I've been in the information and technology industry for the past 25 years. And having worked for a good 20 of those years for multinational corporations like IBM, HP, and Microsoft, I'm excited to now be with Time currently as we embark on our own transformation journey to expand beyond our connectivity-related services that Time has always been proud of.
That's great. Wow, that's a lot of experience behind you, and it kind of also makes me nervous a little to speak to you, because here I'm not, probably it does give my age out, but I'm just a newbie in the industry, right? I'm just 13, 14 years in the market. I've been associated with a lot of other MNCs and stuff. And when my journey started off with AVM, obviously I spoke to you before that, and it was nice to have that piece of conversation where you spoke about how AVMs, why investment by Time into AVM, and how does it change the market scape, right? So for our viewers who don't know AVM, let me just give a quick introduction about AVM, what we do, and how does Time come into play inside AVM's story, right? AVM Cloud was started by 5 entrepreneurs from Malaysia, right? And very passionate entrepreneurs for that aspect. They started off as a service integrator, doing a lot of hardware, software reselling stuff. And then they realized the local market here requires something more than that. It needs someone to come out with advancements in technology, use of the right technology. And because of its longevity in the market, it had built a lot of strategic partnerships with a lot of technology vendors. And I think that is an exciting part for AVM Cloud, where earlier this year, when Time came into the picture of AVM Cloud started seeing something huger than what they thought. And these 5 entrepreneurs were excited about it. And that's what brought me in here too, right? And I'm proud to say that's what brought me in here, because once AVM Cloud became part of the Time family, there's a bigger aspect of Time that we are looking at as a family, right? Now, that's why we pride ourselves when we say AVM Cloud, a Time company now. I know that's there on my shirt, and I know it's a proud feeling. But now, what does AVM Cloud do? AVM Cloud is an aspiring cloud company in Malaysia who is looking at becoming a local hyperscale provider. Now, I might be spilling out the beans here in terms of what is the roadmap, which I wanted to speak later in the episode, but it's important to start that aspect right now because I would like to take this opportunity in this episode for the market and our viewers and our customers to understand what does this partnership mean, right? It's just not about a broadband company investing into a cloud space company doing infrastructure work. It's just not that. It's a lot more to it. We are looking at Time's presence in the region, and we are proud to put ourselves on the map everywhere Time is now, which kind of expands the horizon of AVM Cloud, right? AVM Cloud is known to do a lot of VMware related stuff, obviously, because we have a huge strategic partnership with VMware. We are a VMware cloud provider, verified cloud provider, a premier provider at that point of view. All right. We do a lot more in multiple industries. We have a huge customer base at this point. We do public cloud services. We do on-prem services. We do a lot of these things, right? Now, a lot of organizations know us by different names because of our predecessor company names and stuff like that. But AVM Cloud has got has laid itself in a very nice way for the market of late, right? Which is about being a cloud provider company, which is about not saying that you should run only on your prem or you should run only on public cloud. It's about giving the customers a view of adopting all the nature of cloud technologies, right? Now, this is where I'm going to stop and I'm going to give this very interesting fact. Before I knew Time would acquire AVM, I always knew Time as a broadband company. I always thought ISP, right? Now, only once I started having this conversation of joining AVM Cloud and speaking to you, Kitao, and the other people of Time, I realized Time is just not a broadband company, right? Not just a connectivity company. And I think a lot of our viewers might have that view. Time is all about internet providing and nothing else. I didn't want to speak about it, even though I know what all Time does. I think this is the right time for me to call you out and you introduce Time yourself. And let's hear from you as to what else does Time do.
So Time.com is no stranger to the Malaysian telecommunication industry today. Probably listed on the Bursa main board since 2001. We have since grown our market capitalization to about 8.5 billion ringgit today. And this has mainly been driven by our laser-focused objective to provide connectivity services that both meets as well as exceed our customers' expectation, both in the commercial as well as the consumer space today.
That's interesting, right? I mean, I understand. 8.5 billion. That's huge. But the market knows Kitao as Time being a network provider for Malaysia. Is that the case, or what else does Time do in terms of network connectivity? Where all does Time's presence have?
Yeah. So the answer is yes, Srini. And in fact, in this case, we have also had or been given the perception that we resell our network services, and I would like to clarify that with this podcast. So today, we own the networks that we sell, and in this case, our current network runs nationwide across Peninsular Malaysia, with triple redundancy along the west coast, along the center of Peninsular Malaysia, as well as the east coast of Malaysia, and we are also connected to the east of Malaysia via our assets in the system cable Satu Malaysia, or SCREAM in short.
That's good, and obviously that's Malaysia expansion, right? But what about regional expansion? Where does network connectivity of Time expand across in Southeast Asia?
Yeah, so thanks for calling that out, Srini. The business growth that we have had so far has encouraged us to go beyond Malaysia. So currently we have ventures that we have made into Thailand with our joint venture with Symphony. We have also made joint ventures into Vietnam together with CMC Telecoms, and we have just established our office in Cambodia early this year. And with that, today we are the only telco in the region that has a service provider license in 5 countries in Southeast Asia, namely in Malaysia, in Thailand, in Vietnam, Cambodia, and not many are aware that we also have fiber assets, terrestrial fiber assets that is in Singapore as well.
Wow. So fiber access across 5 different countries, and it's pretty much connecting Southeast Asia heavily, right? Now, connectivity normally doesn't stop in a region. There is always a global expansion to it. What about globally? How does Time's connectivity spread across globally?
So thanks, Srini, for calling that out. I almost forgot. So yes, we also provide global connectivity services through the assets that we have in terms of our submarine cables. We have submarine cable access that is reaching all the way to the west into Europe, and on the eastern shore of Malaysia, we have submarine cables that allows us to reach all the way into Korea, into Japan, and even into the western shores of the Americas.
Wow, wow. So Europe to Americas, Korea, Japan, we are, times connectivity is all over the world, right? That's great. But that reminded me, right? Your data center announcement recently. How does a connectivity company get into a data center space? Why and what all are you doing in data center space?
Yeah, a very good point, Srini. So as you can imagine, the fact that we help our customers locally to bring their data out of the country, as well as our global customers helping them bring their data and their reach into this region. It is very, very complementary for us to look at our investments into the data center business. So today, we do have multiple data centers in Malaysia. As you rightly call out, we just opened our new data center in Cyberjaya early this year. And by the way, we also just operationalized our data center in Bangkok end of last year. And we are finalizing our next data center in the second part of this year into Vietnam as well. And by the way, we are the only data center provider today that has the DC right smack in the downtown of KL, in the Golden Triangle of KL, that we call AIMS at KL. Right. This infrastructure assets that we have is the main reason, Srini, why it has encouraged us to expand our capabilities into cloud and security services, and therefore the main reason we made an equity investment into AVM Cloud this year.
That's interesting, right? A connectivity company, data center business, acquiring equity investment into a cloud company. Now that kind of maps into any organization's thought process a little about digital transformation. I know this is the buzzword, this is the key word today. Everyone speaks about digital transformation, a lot of technology trends around digital transformation. This kind of places Time and AVM Cloud being part of the Time family right in that position in organizations where they can look at this combination to be able to help with the digital transformation journey. Now, when we say digital transformation journey, right, we are speaking about a lot of technology trends, artificial intelligence, Internet of Things. Now, these are obviously industry specific. A lot of industries invest into these technologies, and this is obvious, and this market is seeing that trend. But the bigger aspect that this market is seeing as a trend that I see is very important for the region and for the country and the region to expand itself is around cloud, around as a service, revolution that is happening in the market, and around hybrid cloud services, around cybersecurity, around most importantly 5G, the enablement of it, the ease of use, or the expansion of 5G. And I'm sure you'll have a lot more to speak about digital trends, because I know for a fact that you speak to a lot of executives at all these organizations, the leading organizations in the country and across the region. So how do you see these trends being seen by the executives in the market there? Are we seeing the same kind of trends around 5G evolution, around cybersecurity, around hybrid cloud or multi-cloud services, around analytics? I forgot the analytics piece. That's a huge piece today. So how do you see these trends actually playing out in the market?
In that aspect, Srini, thanks for calling out or sharing your views with regards to the digital transformation trends that is running in the market today. I almost forgot. I wanted to reiterate or introduce in this podcast that our nationwide network in Time today is MEF 3.0 certified. And we are currently, we were the first fixed line telco provider in Malaysia that has achieved this certification. This is a bit technical, but it basically means that our network today has achieved the global telecommunication standards that is required to support technologies that in turn powers a 5G network. So yes, Srini, it means that we are 5G ready. And in that aspect, sorry, go ahead.
Right. I was just trying to say the 5G network obviously leads a conversation for any organization into the cloud aspect a lot, right? Because connectivity is the centerpiece of it. So what about the cloud aspect? How do organizations look at it?
Well, to us, or the way we are looking at the trend, multi-cloud or rather, in this case, multi-hybrid cloud is another trend that we are observing in terms of our engagement with our customers. So Time definitely sees that our customers within Malaysia, as well as in the region, would be able to take advantage of a locally bred cloud provider with Time together with AVM that is able to help them accelerate their journey to the cloud.
That's a very important piece that you said, locally bred cloud provider, right? And that's probably one of the reasons that you invested in AVM Cloud, I'm assuming, and I'm sure that is one of the reasons, right? But now cloud providing is not about just consuming the service that's available on the cloud. Today, organizations are looking at infrastructure being invisible. Businesses are looking at infrastructure being invisible, right? So they're saying, I don't care what kind of an infrastructure you provide. You give me a business SLA. Give me something that leads the infrastructure in such a way that I can put anything on the infrastructure. I consume it as a cloud service, and I'm able to do that. Obviously, there's an insertion of hyperscale providers globally who is coming into the market, trying to spread themselves. So your specific mention of a locally bred cloud provider leads me into the infrastructure conversation. Are we seeing that invisible nature of infrastructure by organizations?
You're absolutely right, Srini. The infrastructure today is becoming pretty invincible from a business perspective, and hence the need for organizations to look at a very resilient cloud provider like AVM. And therefore the combination between Time and AVM allows us to provide the best breed of technologies in terms of the infrastructure. And like what I mentioned earlier, Time owns the infrastructure assets that we have in the company. We do not resell someone else's network, and then couple that with connectivity, not just locally, but in this case, regionally as well, is increasing, or rather is allowing us to increase the importance and relevance of Time together with AVM to the market.
That's interesting. Now, as much we speak about cloud, right? I think one of the aspects we spoke about was data protection in our last episode, but security is such a centerpiece. Now, I might want to dwell into it a little more, but I'll just ask you this aspect, right? How do you see security being the focus? I know for a fact security was always the focus for a lot of organizations, but of late, the security trend has, escalated pretty high. So how do you see the security trend going out there in the market?
Yeah, I would like to say that security has been spoken about in great lengths and breadth for a very, very long time. And currently, the conversation around security is in fact even escalating faster than in the past. The need for a good security-centric provider is becoming even more crucial for any organizations that intends to work with their own work with their cloud journey as well as their digital transformation journey as well.
Right. So now, security, normally people look at it as physical data center access. And I mean, it's just maturity of the market, right? How do you start looking at security? Is it just physical data center access, or is it about every single edge component security and things like that, right? How do you see this changing? I don't see organizations asking whether do you have a guard in the front or whether you have an access card anymore. They are going way beyond that. They're actually going to the edge of security, right? So how do you see this with organizations there?
You're spot on in that aspect. So Srini, as a connectivity and data center provider, we are looking beyond security from a physical access point of view. We are making efforts to invest in terms of the right direction towards the visibility and the development of both our security and our network operation centers, which our customers within Malaysia as well as in the region can be confident about when they host their resources and the workloads with us.
Right. Thank you so much. Kate, for that, because that kind of places me right in the context of a certain aspect of AVM Cloud and its services, right? AVM Cloud is obviously we do a lot of portfolio of products that we offer to our customers. It's just not about infrastructure as a service. Obviously, we do similar kinds like doing a virtual private cloud for a customer from a security standpoint, or doing even dedicated cloud services for them, where we place the whole infrastructure for a customer for them to use in a single tenancy model, multi-tenancy model. But we don't even forget the backup as a service portfolio that we offer, or disaster recovery as a service that we offer. And these are all important aspects of any organization's cloud journey, right? Now, what we are doing also in AVM Cloud is expanding beyond just infrastructure. We are venturing into analytics space. We are venturing into IoTs, artificial intelligence. We are venturing into the microservices space, which is I do this because it's a cliche, right? Every organization who wants to develop their own applications wants to go out faster to the market, wants to be like smack out there faster, and do a lot of innovation around with the application, and they want the customers to be able to use that real quick. So microservices is also gaining a lot of attention and traction. The problem, though, with all of these is having skill set within an organization, right? Which means the organizations should build a kind of a set among them of people and process around them where they can adopt these technologies, adopt these services, consume them, without any hesitance, right? Now, this is where I'm going to stop myself, not divulging too much into what AVM Cloud does. I've been speaking about it nonstop to customers and things like that. But what I would like to get into is the aspect of how Time's business services or solutions that Time offers, right, fits into the multi-hybrid cloud strategy. What are the things that we are speaking about, like VPCs, the dedicated cloud, or backup as a service, disaster recovery as a service, containers as a service, data analytics as a service, so many different things, right? But how does this kind of mold into business solutions when Time offers to its customers? What are those business solutions that we are looking at? Is it in line with what the organizations require? Are we heading, as a Time company, are we heading towards those business services which will benefit the customers?
Yeah, so Srini, jumping on or adding on to what you shared, as you have rightly so pointed out, the customers today are going beyond their cloud requirements into analytics, into big data that you have rightly so called out. We see this trend as well in terms of our customers move, and in this case, heavily investing to prepare themselves for this journey to the cloud. And it is for this reason that we are also strengthening our connectivity offerings. So in this case, example, Time's software-defined wide area network solutions that we have built, and with this coupled with also strategically building up express routes services that we have put in place that allows us to connect to the key leading cloud hyperscalers in the world, namely someone like AWS, Google, or Microsoft. We have designed this ecosystem that allows us to provide the greatest reach within Malaysia today. And this in turn would help us bring our customers to the cloud quickly and securely as well.
That's a very important piece that you spoke about, right? Your connectivity, which actually gives a customer an option to connect to the hyperscalers, AWS, Google, GCP, Google's GCP or Azure and things like that. Now, if I actually picture this for a customer, for one of our customers, right? Let's say with AVM Cloud being part of the Time family today, and we are able to get customers to consume AVM Cloud infrastructure services. Let's take container as a service, for example, and they're able to build their container. They're able to use our container platform that we have built, of which we offer them as a service. They're able to build their applications. Now, when they're developing their applications, obviously developers, even I was a developer once upon a time. So we all have this very intuitive effect, right? Where we want to consume something from somewhere, try and see how this works, right? Now, here we are telling organizations, you don't have to worry about shadow IT, where your developers go and connect to anything, consume anything, start billing y'all, sending y'all a bill and telling y'all to pay for things. Rather, you can have that governed through an enterprise cloud service model where we can offer that container platform as a service. You can connect to multiple hyperscale cloud providers, consume their services too. So we are not telling our customers to come and consume only services that AVM Cloud offers or Time offers. We are giving you the openness, the flexibility for you to choose to consume services even from multiple hyperscale providers. Consume those services. We have the connectivity. You don't have to worry about the connectivity point of view. Now, obviously, this is where our data centers play a very huge role. And I think Time's investment in data center becomes a very huge centerpiece to customers to come into Time family, to adopt Time as a strategic partner for them, to enable them on the cloud journey. How do you see this data center connectivity, hyperscale provider connectivities, all these giving an edge to an organization within Malaysia and the region?
Yeah, so Srini, touching on our data centers in this aspect, as we shared earlier on, Time's own data centers be it with regards to AIMS in KL or AIMS at Cyberjaya, or even some of our data centers that is in the region, coupled with AVM's cloud capabilities, is the reason how we are able to enable end-to-end business continuity strategies for our customers. So, for example, we have disaster recovery as a service that can leverage our secondary data center. If the customers have their cloud in Cyberjaya, we have KL, we have data center in the other countries that can be a secondary site to the customers and complete the end-to-end solution to them.
Right.
Another aspect, data production services to AVM cloud is also an option.
Right. And that kind of molds me into the conversation about data protection that we spoke about in the last episode. Today we are speaking about connectivity, and more importantly, we're speaking about the family of time, right? Which AVM Cloud is part of, and proudly part of the family today, where we are looking at customers not just within Malaysia but across the region to be able to use this combination of connectivity, data center, cloud providing solutions together to accelerate the journey towards cloud and digital transformation. That's a great aspect. Now, obviously, this episode is about connectivity, I know, but we are not dwelling into the details or technicalities of how this connectivity is. The reason this episode was basically, we structured or we thought about this episode was for the market to understand, or for our viewers to understand, Time's acquisition of AVM Cloud is just not something about delivering cloud services to an organization. It's also about a bigger roadmap that we have, not just for Malaysia, but regionally, right? Now, I do have an insight of certain roadmaps that we have, but I think it will be right for me to ask you, AVM Cloud being a Time company, and Time, its vision of delivering cloud solutions to its customers, and not only in Malaysia, across the region, how does this roadmap really look like for you? And how is our vision towards certain industry-specific work? I mean, that I'm kind of giving you a clue to speak about something for me. The reason is because I want the market to know this acquisition is just not about expanding the cloud business for Time. It's about being industry-focused. It's about being visionary, not just for Malaysia, but across the region. So I'm just asking you out on this. What is the roadmap for Time?
Understand. So, Srini, I understand where you are alluding to, and you are right. So, at Time, in recognizing that each industry has their specific requirements, for example, our banks and our financial institutions, right, they heavily take their cue from Bank Negara's MIT compliance policy, and it is where, for this reason, Time together with AVM is moving into becoming an industry-focused service provider. With Time's expertise in connectivity and AVM's experience with the cloud, we intend to build up specialized ecosystem that are being evaluated and developed collectively between the two companies today. And with this is where we intend to create an environment which would help the banking and financial institutions to accelerate their journey to the cloud.
You spoke about financial institutions, and that kind of, you can see the smile on my face because I've been part of a financial institution for quite some time. So I definitely know what financial institutions look at, right? It's a very important aspect that you spoke about, RMIT guidelines, and how that is impacting or affecting the cloud journey of financial institutions. And it's interesting to see how Time and AVM are focusing their attention on this particular industry, because the financial industry in Malaysia or within the region is a little, special, because it's not like a lot of other financial institutions across the globe, right? Their presence is pretty much within that particular space or their country, right? But here we spread ourselves very quickly within the region, which means cloud adoption becomes a lot more a conversation of risk, security, compliance, and a lot of other things. So what I'm trying to say is, we are if I'm not wrong in saying this, we are looking at financial institutions to adopt cloud. We are not telling them to slow down. We are telling them to, in fact, accelerate. But what we are telling them is, we are going to build a portfolio and connectivity and infrastructure around the RMT guidelines, so that the financial institutions can freely go ahead and accept it. And we are ready to even, work with them on that. Now, this is where the conversation about why financial institutions are probably, a little more slower in accepting this is because financial institutions believe in trusting something. Security, is a major aspect of that, for which they need to trust their cloud provider, right? They need to trust the infrastructure or the solutioning or the connectivity that a provider offers them. So how big is being a trusted provider part of the roadmap for Time and AVM Cloud together?
Oh, Srini, I cannot undermine the importance of that aspect of trust. So in this case, as you may be aware, Time has been the key service provider to Bank Negara today. You may have heard of the Rentas network or the Rentas system that the Bank Negara runs today. And within that network is where Time provide our infrastructural connectivity services that allows that network to operate every day, 24/7, 365 days a year.
Right. So that's a very interesting piece, right? Bank Negara, the partnership of Time, and now this is where I'm going to lead you into the advisory-led approach. I know I have spoken to you so many times, obviously outside this episode, about why it is important to be an advisory-led cloud provider organization, because it's very easy to go out and say consume our cloud services. You just create an account, go ahead, consume it. But here we are telling the enterprises to work as an enterprise to adopt this journey, right? Which means it's very important for us to advise an organization why it is right to consume something from the cloud, why is it not right to consume something from the cloud. How do you view this advisory-led approach in any organization's journey?
I think it is equally important as well. Beyond the trust aspect that you mentioned, it is very important for a service provider like us in Time and in AVM to be able to be open, honest, and to be able to share the experience that we can impart based on the work that we have done for different entities that we can then impart into new entities that is going into this journey. So yes, you're absolutely right. That level of advisory is something that we can offer as well.
Right. So now the advisory-led transformation journey is a key thing for us as Time and AVM, right? Now we are actually going out to the customers and telling them, we are not telling you to put all your cloud, all your workloads onto our cloud. No, we are telling you we will help you to pick and choose which is the right cloud to put your solutions on. Now this is where we are trying to become a different kind of a hyperscale provider. Yes, we are not as big as the big four. Our aspiration is to be one of them, as big as them, but for which we don't want to give a free flow of cloud services, right? It's not about enterprises just creating an account and consuming everything that is there, but it's about giving them the control of consuming it. What is right to consume? How is the cloud economics going to play a role and stuff like that, which is very important for an organization, right? So are we still on track to be one of those local hyperscale providers that this region can see?
Absolutely, Srini. So, as you're aware, beyond the investment that we have made together with AVM, we have also been running Time's cloud services for a while. And you are right. It is in this aspect of believing, or in this case, absolutely aligned to how we see the industry, that it will not be a one-trick pony or a single cloud provider that will lead the way. We believe that the multi-cloud, first of all, hybrid cloud environment that the customer will set up and benefit from, and then beyond that, the ability to provide multi-cloud management that will in turn allow the customer to get the best of breed across what they will put in the country as well as what they can comfortably put outside that as well. And that's where that's the direction that we'll be heading towards.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. So, Kitao, I would love to continue this conversation about market trends, how the organization see it, and a lot of other things, right? But obviously, we want the viewers to be able to grasp as much as we are speaking, to understand why we are speaking about this. So, what I want to do right now is speak to you about all the things that we spoke along the conversation: 5G evolution, data center business, hybrid multi-cloud opportunities, right? Cybersecurity, so many different things that we spoke about across this episode, a conversation that we had in this episode. What are those final few things that you think you want to call out specifically to organizations who are looking to get on a cloud journey or a digital transformation journey? What are those key things, your final thoughts about how organizations should strategize their cloud journey? Where do you see the focus should be on?
Yeah. So if there's a few key takeaways that we would like to share with the audience, the first one is that we at Time absolutely believes that as the customers accelerate their digital transformation and their journey to the cloud, connectivity will also continue to increase in terms of its importance. Having the ability to provide a reliable, secure, efficient, cost optimized, and a flexible cloud-enabled network will be of essence, will be very important to our customers in the near future. And we at Time believe that we are able to deliver this network to our customers.
Right.
The second takeaway is that the multi-hybrid cloud trend is very real, and it is the journey that organizations are already taking on. So every organization will be looking at a high-performance, comprehensive, secure, simple, swift, and dependable service provider that can help them fulfill their digital transformation as well as the journey to the cloud.
Right. That's interesting. So we are speaking about digital transformation, journey to the cloud, where connectivity will be of utmost importance. It will continue to always. So the key words that I picked up from those final thoughts of yours: a reliable, secure, cost optimized, flexible cloud network, high performing one, which is very simple, swift, and more importantly, a dependable service provider, a trusted cloud service provider. And this is where I think Time, and along with AVM Cloud, can be that service provider, right? So great thoughts, great final take on these. And it's amazing how we transferred this conversation from digital transformation, technology trends into cloud adoption, the journey of it, how organizations should look at it, what is Time's relevance to it, what is AVM Cloud's relevance to it. And I hope with this episode, the viewers and our market are able to understand what does this partnership of Time and AVM mean and what we are bringing out to the market. On that note, Kitao, thank you so much for joining us. It was an amazing conversation. It was very insightful, obviously picking your brains on how organizations view digital transformation or cloud journey. What are the important facets of it? What are the important aspects of how Time is looking at it? And Time not just being a connectivity company, it's looking at being a cloud provider. Along with AVM, we are looking at being that local hyperscale provider. Your insights are as important as anything else. Thank you so much for joining us. It was great having you here. I hope you had fun doing this, and I hope our viewers too had fun.
You're welcome, Srini. Thanks for having me.
That's great. Thank you so much. And that's it for this episode. Thank you so much for tuning in for this episode of Fit into the Cloud, the podcast series by AVM Cloud, a Time company, the cloud for the enterprise. Signing off, but don't go away. We are coming up with many more. Thank you so much. Bye.